Imagine unlocking the hidden blueprint of a chess position, revealing its strengths, weaknesses, and the optimal paths for your pieces. What if there was a way to see beyond the immediate tactics and truly understand the long-term strategic potential? To analyze pawn structures in the middle game, you must understand that they are the very skeleton of the position, dictating space, creating targets, and influencing piece activity. They are fundamental to crafting a coherent strategic plan and are often more important than temporary material advantages. The core mechanism behind their importance lies in their immovable nature. Once pawns are placed, they define the spatial relationships on the board, creating open files, semi-open files, and closed centers. For example, an isolated pawn, a pawn with no friendly pawns on adjacent files, can become a long-term weakness because it cannot be defended by other pawns. Conversely, a pawn chain, a diagonal line of pawns defended by each other, creates a strong defensive barrier and can project influence into the opponent's territory. Doubled pawns, two pawns on the same file, often lead to a static weakness but can sometimes create an open file for a rook or control important central squares. Passed pawns, pawns with no opposing pawns on their file or adjacent files blocking their advance, representing a powerful dynamic threat. To actively analyze pawn structures, start by identifying the type of center. Is it open, closed, or semi-open? This tells you whether the game will be more tactical or strategic. Next, look for pawn weaknesses on both sides, such as isolated pawns, doubled pawns, backward pawns, or weak squares in front of pawns. Then, identify potential pawn breaks, moves that advance a pawn to challenge the opponent's pawn chain or open lines. These pawn breaks are crucial for creating dynamic opportunities. Always consider king safety in relation to the pawn structure around your king and your opponent's king. Finally, note any open files or files that could become open, as these are highways for rooks and queens. A sophisticated understanding of pawn structures allows you to employ advanced concepts like prophylaxis, anticipating and preventing your opponent's strategic plans by addressing weaknesses created by pawns. It also helps you distinguish between static advantages, like a healthy pawn structure, and dynamic advantages, such as a strong attack that can temporarily outweigh a structural deficit. Recognizing these nuances helps you make more informed decisions about when to trade pieces, where to place your major pieces, and which squares are truly valuable. By diligently analyzing the pawn structures, you gain a powerful lens through which to view the middle game. This systematic approach transforms a complex board into a clear strategic landscape, enabling you to identify long-term goals, anticipate opponent intentions, and consistently make more principled and effective moves. This insight is what separates an average player from one who consistently builds winning positions.